Born in 1828 in the United States, Andrew Taylor Still is the founder of osteopathy. He thought that the current medicine wasn't really effective. That's why he dedicated his own life to create an alternative medicine, a natural medicine called osteopathy. Andrew strongly believed that each part of the body are interconnected. In other words, all the physiological systems communicate each other. They are linked. That's why later on he will come up with a principle who said that the body is a unit. Atom is the smallest unit of life. Assemblage of atoms then create molecules such as glucose. Glucose is the main source of energy for the body. It can be manufactured by the body or can be found by eating food. Glucose allows the muscular system to work properly as muscles need energy to work. If someone has a low sugar diet, the body will work to compensate this lack of energy. Because the body is a unit, it can fix an imbalance by using a process called homeostasis, which is the property of a system to regulate so that the internal condition remains stable and relatively constant. Molecules then will form the smallest functioning unit of life, the cell. Assemblage of cells convert to tissues to organ and organ to systems. The addition of the 12 physiological systems will make the whole body. Andrew explained body is a unit by utilizing the analogy of man as a city. He said, let us say that each person is a well-organized city, and reason by comparison that the city makes all the workshops necessary to produce such machinery as required for the health and comfort of each inhabitant. Each organ is a laborer of skills, and belongs to the union of perfect work. Indeed, a city needs to provide multiple services for the well-being of the population. By comparison, the human body needs multiple organs that work effectively for the good maintenance of health. As a city, each person has a role to play in the society. Is it the same for the body? Everything should work together. In the health model, this is where the osteopath has a role to play, by uniting system to system and cell to cell, and by supporting and maintaining this structure, enable them to work in harmony. This principle refers to the fact that there is a balance in the body. This balance is a key principle of life. That's why I think it can be applied not only at the body level, but also at the earth level. In this case, body is a unit can be transformed as life is a unit. Indeed, such as the human body, nature also needs a balance. Let me explain. When I say life is a unit, I refer to the fact that everything is linked in the universe. During the explosion of the stars called supernova, stars spread dust which later on will land on Earth and will participate to create life. By analogy, if you take the death of a cell or apoptose, it is the same thing, but at a different scale. Cells also spread particles of life. This is the big cycle of life, destruction and reconstruction, but also death and birth. This picture is interesting. It shows at the top the birth of a cell and at the bottom the death of a star. Both patterns look similar. Again, it is a cycle that takes place everywhere at any time. This is how the universe works. This is how the body works. But let's go back on Earth now. The human body is made of several physiological systems that perform specific functions. On this animation, you can see the muscular system. Above it, there is the integumentary system, which is the most external system of the body. Made with skin and hair, the integumentary system is the first part that enter in contact with the external world. Under the skin, there is connective tissue fiber named fascia. They form sheaths or bands beneath the skin to attach, stabilize, enclose, and separate muscle and other internal organs. The facial system is continuous throughout the whole body. That's why I think it is a component that has a role to play in the unity of the body. Fascia is a tensegrity structure. Tensegrity means tensional plus integrity with a discontinuous compression. This concept is basically an architectural principle created by Fuller in 1960. The Kurilpa Bridge in Australia is a good example of tensegrity structure. But when applied to the living, it is called biotensegrity. But let's have a look under the skin. Based largely on the work of anatomist Frank Willard, fascia is defined as irregular connective tissues of varying density found throughout the entire body. As you can see, it is a complex framework. Fascia have the ability to be stretched in all directions, and they also can be dissociated in several parts. Tensegrity can be found everywhere. Look at this spider making her spider web. This bone is a femur. Thus biotensegrity is also applied here. Let's go deeper to understand. The answer is yes, we can observe trabecular structure, which is also a biotensegrity structure. According to research, the gravitational compression force from the weight of the body is not transmitted through the femur as a vertical line. Rather, it is transmitted as a curvilinear force extending from the hip to the knee. As a tensegrity structure, then, the medial aspect of the knee is resisting compression while the lateral aspect is under compression. So, biotensegrity can be found everywhere on Earth. According to researchers, this principle is applied at all the different levels of the body. Molecular to cellular, cellular to tissues, then tissues to organ and organ to the musculoskeletal system. By taking a step back, everything is linked in the body by this biotensegrity principle. Let's move on now and let's talk about health. What is health? I think health is a global state of being, which is applied for both psychological and physiological states as they link together. What I eat, what do I do during a normal day, what is my diet? All these little things will influence the health into good or bad. Let's take an obvious example. This man doesn't look really healthy, isn't he? What makes us think that? It's because humans always tend to compare to understand. Look at this girl now. She looks happy and healthy. In osteopathy, we use the GOE, which is the Global Observation and Examination. By using the GOE, we are able to understand where are the unhealthy parts of a patient. During the GOE, we look for tissue changes, asymmetry, restriction of movements, and tenderness. According to the GOE, the character on the left looks imbalanced. His body presents asymmetry. He has 4 teeth left. His skin is green, which is not a good sign, and he presents an obvious antalgic posture. The osteopath can fix the imbalance as much as he can. But it's good to bear in mind that above all, a good lifestyle leads to health. The osteopath is not a magician. His role is to support and increase the patient's health, not to create miracles. Body is able to adapt and compensate. Because everything is linked in the body, during his GOE, the osteopath can pinpoint a problem holistically because of body compensation, which means that the problem is found indirectly. During the observation, we can see that the patient has an obvious scoliosis to the left. Because body is a unit, the problem can come from up or down. The problem that creates scoliosis can come from the feet, the knee, pelvis. It can be a body compensation due to an injury, or it can be anything else. GOE is like a big puzzle, and to understand it, it's important to take a step back and think holistically. Once the GOE is done, the practitioner can use the general osteopathic treatment, also called GOT. It's a form of treatment used in the profession to restore health of a patient. This form of treatment uses articular techniques which have an effect on nutrition, drainage, and the nervous system of articulating joint. As mentioned earlier, all the body is connected, so by moving one joint, the technique will have an effect on other neighbor structure, such as fascia, ligaments, muscle, and other bones, because the body is a unit. One of the 10 principles of Little John is correlation. It illustrates the interdependence at all levels of the body. Cell depends on function of nerve, blood vessels, and lymphatic vessels. There is 5 conceptual models used in osteopathy. They allow us to think about how osteopathy can improve the health according to different points of view. The first one is the biomechanical model. For this model, the practitioner will focus his treatment on muscles and joints of the trunk and extremities. Muscles are involved in posture and motion. Therefore, it is important that they function well. By treating the muscular system, other physiological systems will be involved indirectly as they work together. The second one is the respiratory circulatory model. Here, the practitioner will address the rib cage and diaphragm in order to increase the respiration ability. It can also help to increase the blood flow in the body. If the blood flow doesn't work effectively, the whole body will be in danger as blood is a vital component for all physiological systems. Next model is the metabolic energetic model. Digestion has to work normally because it's during this process that the body converting food to usable energy. The osteopath can address the abdominopelvis region and work indirectly on internal organs. There is also the neurological model. Here we think how the nervous system works and how can we improve it. The osteopath can use techniques addressing head and spinal regions. And finally, there is the behavioral model. Here it's just about speaking with the patient, make him realize what is good or bad, what can lead him to a better health. It can be social, lifestyles, or environmental factors. But it's good to keep in mind that patient behavior cannot be changed until they take the decision by themselves. Where are we so far? We see the importance of each component in the human body. Everything is interconnected inside of us. Everything is linked around us. Atom, molecule, cell, organs, people, city, country, earth, and the universe.